video I want to compare my Seiko SPB143J1 with my Tudor Black Bay 58 Blue. Yes, these are my watches. I bought them both new from Authorized Dealers and I have them in my collection and my daily rotation. I traveled with both of them and now I want to share my experience and my thoughts about these two popular watches. And I want to tell you which one is worth the money in my opinion. The Seiko SPB143 I bought 2 years ago. The Tudor Black Bay will turn 2 years in a couple of months. So I would say I spent about the same time with both watches. I find it's a bit silly and tricky to compare watches from different price points, but I will try to review them both from the specs and quality points, not the price point. Interestingly enough, Tudor raised their prices 2 times since I bought my Black Bay 58, and Seiko prices stayed the same for 2 years. For now and in Canada at least. Not sure if the situation is different in other countries. Let me know in the comments if Seiko raised prices within the last 2 years in your country. Anyway, here are these two popular and hyped diver watches from Seiko and Tudor. Let's find out which one is worth the money. I will start with the similarities. How both watches are similar. Both watches are divers. Both have 200 meters of water resistance and screw-down crown with no crown guards. Both are inspired by vintage models from the past. And because of that, both have vintage style design. Both are with Doom Sapphire crystal with anti-reflective coating on the inner side. Both have a closed case back. Both are very popular choices among watch enthusiasts. Both have in-house movements with 70 hours of power reserve. Both watch cases are brushed with some polished parts. Both are so-called strap monsters, but I actually prefer them both on bracelets. As you can see, the watches are similar in many ways. Now let's see how watches are different. The price, of course. The Seiko SPB143 retail currently is 1,595 Canadian dollars or 1,200 US dollars, plus applicable taxes, if any. The current retail price for Tudor Black Bay 58 is 4,750 Canadian dollars or 3,950 US dollars. The difference is significant. The functions. The Seiko is with the date function and Tudor has no date. Many watch purists like watches to be with no date. If you have just one watch in your collection, I think having date is good, but with this particular case, I would also prefer Seiko with no date window. A movement is another important and big difference. With Seiko, you have a so-called workhorse from Seiko 6R35 with a stated accuracy of -15 plus 25 seconds per day. The stated accuracy is already not good for a modern movement, but with my experience the watch is even more off. I read many complaints about the poor movement performance from the watch community, so it is not an insulated to me problem. This is something to be aware of. You either get lucky with the movement, or you would have to go to a watchmaker to regulate it, or you simply should not care about accuracy. Which I find hard with a diver. It's quite annoying to correct often the time when a watch has a screw-down crown. The only good thing with the Seiko movement is the 70 hours of power reserve, and Seiko also has in-house movement. But here comes Tudor with much superior movement and the same 70 hours of power reserve. With Tudor Black Bay you are getting a COSC certified in-house movement. Okay, I'm personally not a big in-house fan and in-house doesn't always automatically mean it is great. But it's good to know that the company put effort and thought into a movement. You are getting a very accurate movement with the long power reserve also. The size and wearability. The Black Bay 58 size is 39mm and it has a slimmer case profile, so it wears much better on my 17cm wrist. It fits and hugs my wrist perfectly. The Seiko size is also nice and it fits very good too, although the watch is heavier, larger and bulkier. Scratches on both watches and Seiko hard coating performance. Both cases perform very good. The Seiko hard coating is actually great. For 2 years I got scratches mostly on a bracelet only. The Seiko case is with drilled lugs, so you easily can change a bracelet to a strap and back. The Tudor case performed well also. I don't have any scratches on the case, aside of some hairline signs from wear. The most scratches with Tudor are also on a bracelet. With Tudor it's not easy to remove the bracelet, so it could be pain in the butt to change a bracelet to a strap or bag. Tudor's screw-down crown is signed with the Tudor Rose logo, Seiko's crown is not signed. With Seiko you have a stainless steel bezel with beautiful hard coating. I had no scratches or issues with the bezel for 2 years. Tudor has an old school aluminum vintage bezel which also performed great, and it's not scratched either. Here is the bezel sound comparison for you. The lume. Okay, Seiko is very good with the lume traditionally, and the SPB143 is no exception. But for some reason the lume on a Seiko in daylight appears to look like a toy and doesn't look real. It's hard to explain, you may not agree with me, but it's just how it looks to me. Whereas the lume on the Tudor is solid, serious, real. But both watches shine perfectly fine in the dark. Bracelets. Seiko has a solid modern bracelet with a quick wet suture extension. The bracelet is pin adjusted. Seiko bracelet has some gaps where it's connected to the case. Tudor's fake riveted bracelet connection is perfect. It is screw adjusted and has no quick extension. The overall quality and feel of the bracelet is more superior with the Tudor. This Seiko model has a 3 years of the warranty, and you have a 5 years of the warranty with Tudor. Recognizability. Seiko as a brand is well known among people, whereas Tudor is known mostly among watch enthusiasts. But both watches and brands are well respected among watch enthusiasts. And lastly, are they worth the money? In short, I think the Tudor Black Bay 58 well worth the retail price. If you compare this Tudor with other divers from luxury brands like Breitling, Omega, Tag Heuer, the price is fair considering the specs and quality. The watch is more superior in my view. For me personally, it has a better design versus Seiko. Tudor Black Bay models do not depreciate that much on the secondary market, which is also good to know. I have an absolutely positive experience with my Tudor Black Bay 58. I cannot say the same about my Seiko SPB143. First, I got the updated edition with the lume on a 3 o'clock, which I did not expect, and it was a bummer. The screw-down crown was stiff and hard to screw. The bezel has some misalignment, and the worst issue for me is the movement performance. It is losing too much. With the current Seiko quality control issues and poor movements, I think the retail is a bit too much. I think the divers from Doxa, Hamilton, Longines, Tissot, Mido would be a better choice quality and accuracy wise. Of course, if you like this particular Seiko model, my opinion should not stop you from buying. But it is good to be prepared for these two most common problems with Seiko watches: poor performance of the movement and some quality control issues like bezel misalignment. Thankfully, it's easy to buy Seiko SPB143 on a sale or used. The sale and used prices are fair in my view. So in the conclusion, I want to say that Tudor, the watch I love and wear a lot, it is my trusted traveling companion. The Seiko SPB143 is the watch I tolerate. Many things I like, but many things I hate also. I'm actually thinking of selling this watch for some time already. I'm just not good at selling things. If you have a budget for Tudor, go for it. If you have a budget for Seiko and you like this watch and you can tolerate possible issues with the watch, go for it. Who knows, maybe you will get lucky and your Seiko won't have any quality issues. The good thing that Seiko may be available from the ID with discounts of 15% or so. You may get it for a very good price on a secondary market as well. Otherwise, I would suggest to look at some similarly priced watches from Tissot, Hamilton, Longines or Mido. This is my ownership review and experience. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know what you think about these two popular watches. Thank you for watching. Check out my other watch reviews. I will see you next time. Take care and bye now.